Hi Virgo, this is Nyonjo from Choose Change Tarot, and I'm here to do your quarantine reading. I just want to say thank you to all the people who liked, shared, and subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. So let's get started. So your overall message is, first is prayer. I didn't say that loud enough. I'm like, prayer. All right, so this card is a reminder that there's always a plan. If you're sidetracked from your path, then you will be guided back to your true calling. If my most powerful thoughts are a form of prayer, how can I live an active prayer? Key ideas are prayer. All prayers are answered. Following where life leads, being of service, fulfillment, and inquiry and original thoughts are inspired by the angels in lemon yellow. Cut through and face the truth and surrender to a higher calling. There's a collaboration here and willingness to change one's mind. Try letting go of control. So, your higher message or your other clarifying messages are transformation and bond. So, with these two cards to clarify, I think basically a lot of this is talking about is this is going to be a period of time that's going to really force you to let go of control and kind of allow you to, I think it's the universe is just going to show you what you can show up in your life without you needing to overwork yourself for it to be presented. The other message that I think really is relevant is being gentle with yourself too. Like, this is a process of transformation. Transformation is not something that's necessarily linear. And I mean, be gentle on yourself, of definitely being like, if you're not where you want to be right now, but you have the intention and the willingness and the openness to be where you want to be, you know, some people are just not ready to really live in their true self. This is a period of time where you're going to be guided back to that. But I think one of the things that's going to warn you too, the bond card, is being attached to things that are not really there for your sole purpose. That's one of the things that's kind of keeping you at a standstill of where you are right now. Whether that be a mindset, a person, place, job, community, whatever, it's asking you to kind of let go, be active, not just in what you say, but also what you do in terms of like wanting these things. And it might be like you're trudging through the mud and you can't really like be the most happiest or positive person when you're trudging through the mud. But if your intention is to go somewhere, if you have an attention to go somewhere and you're making it through, even though the way you're doing it is not necessarily the best way, the universe is going to realign you to what the best and most effective way is. But keep trying is what I'm getting. Keep trying and understand that this process of how you're going to go through right now is a transformation, and you're probably going to go through something very similar, or you are back to going through something similar. And it's like saying, like, remember when you went through this time? Now you have different tools to be able to get through it. So yeah, let's get to your love prayer reading. So you have for singles, you have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Swords in reverse. So with this energy, it's definitely talking about sort of overthinking things, not blocking you from really being able to be honest with yourself about the people you're into, the people you're into in terms of friendships and relationships. It's like you're overthinking where you want to be and you're not taking the time to see whether or not that's worthy too. So let's clarify those cards. Yeah. So the clarifying cards you have are the Three of Pentacles and the Five of Cups here. So it seems like there's a situation where you're trying to build with other people and it's just disappointing how either other people are showing up or how the connection is manifesting, or connections. So with the Knight of Swords in particular, I think you're kind of overthinking how you want to connect with this person or these people. And while you're overthinking these things, part of it, might just have to do with you wanting to make it work. And part of it is you trying to make it work with something that's never going to work. And that's what you're need to be honest with yourself about. Because maybe with the Seven of Swords too, it has to do with deception. It also has to do with people taking your energy. And now you're realizing that these people, this person, this mindset of wanting to connect with other people is taking away your energy, taking away from you really being able to align with what you actually want, taking that time. It's forcing you into a mindset of being really disappointed and kind of focusing on the negatives of what it means to build relationships and friendships with people. So, one more card. Yeah. It's asking you to be okay with having a sort of alternative way of wanting to relate with other people, or just having an alternative is what I'm getting. So I think that means like having an alternative plan or having an alternative way of engaging with these people that doesn't seem like well, you know what I'm getting to is that with being okay with an alternative way of being. So maybe the way you want to be in the world is not like the most popular. You know, with the Hierophant really has to do with institutions and doctrines and just large structures of community or people. With the reverse, it's like I said, it's an alternative to that. So I think what it's asking you is to know that there's an alternative to the situation you're in. You don't have to keep banging your head against a brick wall if it's not going to work. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make it work in the first place. Your true intention is wanting to have connection, and that's very beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think what this month is going to realign you to what that true intention is. It's kind of steering you away. Like, hey, let's actually go this way. You know, you want to go that way. And you're just kind of looking at, like I said earlier, the ball, and you're like, and you're just like, and then you look, you move, you have a different perspective, and you're like, wait a second, I deserve this, not that. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting. So for the couples here, you have the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse. So there's a lot of issues around communication. It seems like there's a dynamic where you're trying to communicate about finances, material things, and one person or another person is really just trying to organize that. But you can see here, it's like you're all not facing each other. The Page of Pentacles is facing that way, and the Page of Swords is facing the other way. So it's almost like you're not even having a conversation. Because maybe one person values this stability, another person values the clarity. I mean, they could be one and the same, but I think in this sense, I mean, let's just get more clarity here, actually. Okay. So you have the Devil reverse and the Lovers. So it might be that you have a dynamic in your relationship where when it comes up to this one topic, either it be finances, whatever, come with this one topic and y'all just get stuck. You just get obsessive about it. You just want to solve it. You just want to figure it out. You just want to like just stew to the point where it just feels very like stuck, bonded. You feel bonded to the issue. And as a result, you feel bonded to this person. Like you both are trying to make it work in this particular way, but it's just not, y'all are just not hearing each other because you're coming from two different perspectives, which is okay. But with them upright, it kind of mirrors the Lover's energy of this connection, of this soulmate connection, of this reality. So it really is asking you to kind of find a different way to be able to communicate. Because like I said earlier with the singles, y'all's intention is this Lover's energy, this connection. But what is difficult right now is this Devil, is like letting go of the obsession, letting go, I think there's a particular thing though. Yeah, obsession over, with the Four of Cups, it's like this, how stability could be achieved in your life. I kind of figured that out earlier, but what stability looks like for y'all in terms of emotional stability. What does it mean to feel more emotionally fulfilled as well? Because a lot of times with the Four of Cups, it has to do with, it kind of is connected to the word apathy. So y'all are just trying to figure out what this actually means to both y'all, but you're not hearing each other what that means. And you're kind of obsessing over it and kind of feeling like you're going to fall out because of it. But really, you just really need to like recognize that the roots of where you're coming from are informed by how you grew up. And sometimes if you grew up in different ways, even if you grew up in similar ways, you're still being informed by different aspects of yourself. It doesn't mean that you're not saying the same thing. It's just a matter of translating it and realizing you're actually saying the same thing. So, yeah. So let's get to the work, passion, and community. So you have the Hermit here, the Empress in reverse, and the Death in reverse. So I think this time is asking you to really reflect on what it means to nurture and take care of yourself and to find abundance. So the Empress is definitely about abundance. Because it's reversed, it's like either a false sense of abundance, false sense of security, or it's about just not even seeing the resources that are available to you to create what you want and what you need. And with the Death reverse, that's making it very difficult for, you can see here, this transformation to happen. You know, this transformative thoughts to happen. So it's like once you have those thoughts of what could be, it will allow this process of what is to happen. Meaning once you kind of think about what abundance looks like for you, once you kind of pinpoint that and allow yourself to want that, this Death energy will reverse and this change will be brought about. But right now it's being blocked because you're kind of just not necessarily taking in the introspection that you've done. Let's pick up another card for this one. Yeah, you're not, with the Temperance card, you're not integrating. This is all major arcana cards. So this is kind of a heavy emphasis on work and passion and community this month. So this Temperance energy is talking about not feeling alone with yourself, not feeling connected to the information that you have, and turning into the abundance that you want. But like I said earlier, if you don't even really know, you can't really pinpoint what that means for you in particular. If you're just kind of have aspirations that are things that you think you're supposed to want, then you're not going to get to this transformative energy. You're not going to be able to usher in the universe's hand to move that forward if you're so attached to a specific way of what it looks like. So yeah, let's get to the spirituality and higher purpose. So we have the Justice card here, the Moon, and Judgment. So it's really continuing on with this theme I was talking about. So you have the Justice card. Basically what it says is what you put in is what you get back. So it's challenging you to look at what you put in and really face it. You know, what are you doing, like it said, to live in active prayer? And how are you allowing your thoughts to be more sort of geared towards what you want? And, you know, for real, it's like really difficult to always think positive. Like, I really don't believe in that. 'Cause sometimes, you know, things are just get really hard and you just get down on yourself because that's the reality of how the brain works and depression works, whatever. So it's asking you to keep hope alive and kind of start building I'm trying to think of like a reserve of hope so that when the time comes, you're able to just kind of put all that in, keep, you know, putting that into the air so you're able to receive it back. You're able to find that, achieve that balance. So, because if you're really just kind of thinking in one way that feels very self-deprecating, you know, it's still, you know, it's those feelings are really valid, but it's really asking you to find a balance. And what you need to know is that even if this process might not be entirely transparent, or you might not even be aware this is happening. With the Moon card, it's like sort of confusion and things not being very clear. But another time with this card too in particular, it's like there are some things that are not clear because if you were to see them, they would just completely distract you from this journey. It's asking you to like follow the voice, like I said, the clarity, voice of clarity that's being that's guiding you. The universe is guiding you towards this other path, like I said, and there's distractions that you don't need to see, or it's going to completely tip you back over to this sort of more difficult mindset to get out of, that feels very weighted and loaded and uncomfortable. And I was going to say something. The universe and Billie Holiday. I'll come back to it. But with the Judgment here, it's talking about being able to get through this journey and get to a place where you're able to kind of answer for the past, because these are things that the distractions are going to show up at some point, but it's after you went through that whole process. So you're able to gather that information of the distractions, the kind of backstabbing, the unknowns, the uncertainty, the doubts, all that is going to come back up. And now that you've gone through it and kind of have a reserve, you're going to be able to face them in a much more powerful way. Yeah, a way more powerful way. Because now that you have the reserve of that self-confidence, that self-care, that those people who are able to like kind of bring you up and uplift you and gas you up, meaning like uplift you, whatever. I just said the same thing in a different lingo. Anyways, yeah, and this process of transformation will continue. Because the Judgment card is right before the world, and the world is like the completion of a cycle. We're in the process of answering for what it took to get to that cycle, to the end of the cycle right now. All right, so your overall advice is instincts keep me adaptable in the face of any obstacle. Again, going back to that intuition, and intuition being formed by messages from the universe. And I'm at home in my body and in peace with spirit. I think this is kind of the ultimate sensation that's going to feel very real after you kind of answer for your sins or whatever that's been going through your life, because you're able to like kind of, you know, kick out the guests who do not belong there, sweep out the dust that do not belong, all the things that are kind of cluttering you from really being one with your body. Like I said, feeling this temperance energy of oneness with yourself, feeling kind of that energy of being balanced. In a lot of ways, the temperance and the justice card has to do with balance. So a lot of this has to do with finding a balance in, just finding a balance and finding what is at the root of balance, which is love. Yeah, so thanks for watching. That's your reading. If you like a personal reading from me, go to my website, truthexchange.tumblr.com at the link below. And I have full moon and new moon readings that I do every month. That's on my Instagram and my website. And yeah, thanks for watching again. Blessings.